Remember those Friday nights you spent just browsing the aisles of Blockbuster,
Yeah.
the smell of popcorn in the air, the thrill of finding like the perfect movie for the weekend?
Yeah,
Yeah, seems like a lifetime ago, right?
it does.
Today we're taking a deep dive into the company that changed all that.
Yeah.
The one that made those trips to the video store a distant memory. Netflix.
Right.
You've sent in some excerpts from a History Daily podcast
Sure.
about the birth of Netflix.
Uh-huh.
And let me tell you, getting to the bottom of this story is going to be quite a ride.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating, I think. What's really interesting is that Netflix didn't just appear out of thin air.
Right?
You know, their stories deeply intertwined with the evolution of technology,
Yeah.
consumer habits, and even a bit of good old-fashioned frustration.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we're going to uncover how a simple annoyance sparked an idea
Yeah.
that revolutionized an entire industry.
We're talking about Reed Hastings, right?
Yes.
The co-founder of Netflix.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Legend has it that a $40 late fee from Blockbuster
Oh.
for a copy of Apollo 13 got him thinking there had to be a better way to rent movies.
$40.
Yeah.
Ouch. Though I have to admit, I've been guilty of racking up a few late fees myself back in the day.
Yeah, well, you weren't alone.
Right.
But Hastings saw this inconvenience as an opportunity. He was already like a successful entrepreneur. And this just sparked an idea that he just couldn't shake.
Yeah?
And he and his business partner, Mark Randolph, were constantly brainstorming ideas
Okay.
during their carpool rides to work.
So this is like their mobile think tank.
Exactly. And during one of these rides, Randolph, whose job was on the line due to a company buyout,
Right.
was desperately pitching ideas like
Yeah.
custom baseball bats, personalized shampoo, you name it.
Wow.
And then he threw out movie rentals.
Movie rentals by mail.
Mm.
Seems pretty obvious in hindsight, but I imagine back then
Right.
that was a pretty radical concept.
It was, especially considering the state of technology at the time.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to mail out VHS tapes. They
Right.
were bulky, expensive to ship, and easily damaged.
Oh, yeah.
The idea was initially dismissed,
Okay.
but then something happened that changed everything.
Okay.
The arrival of DVDs.
The DVD, smaller, lighter, more durable.
Yeah.
A true game changer.
Absolutely. DVDs offered higher storage capacity than VHS tapes, meaning better picture quality.
Right.
They were more durable, less prone to damage during shipping,
Mm-hmm.
and crucially, they allowed for random access, meaning you could jump to specific scenes without rewinding or fast forwarding.
Yeah.
This seemingly small detail made a huge difference for the user experience.
It's amazing how a single technological advancement can completely reshape an industry.
Absolutely. And Hastings and Randolph recognized this potential.
Uh-huh.
They saw that DVDs could be the key to making their movie rental idea work, but they were still cautious
Okay.
to test their theory. They did something incredibly simple, yet ingenious.
They sent a CD in an envelope through the mail, didn't they?
Exactly.
To see if it would survive the journey.
It was a low-tech experiment with potentially high rewards.
Mm.
And to their delight, the CD arrived unscathed. This simple test gave them the confidence to move forward. They
Right.
knew they were onto something big.
So, August 29, 1997, Netflix is born.
Yes.
Well, not quite Netflix as we know it.
Right.
You started with the name Kibble. Can you imagine that?
Bad.
Telling your friends, hey, I'm launching a company called Kibble.
Yeah.
We mail movies to people.
It definitely doesn't have the same ring to it, does it?
No.
Thankfully, they quickly realized the importance of a strong brand.
Yeah.
Netflix was concise, descriptive, and hinted at the future of entertainment.
Yeah.
A seamless blend of the internet and flicks.
A much better choice, I'd say.
Much better. Yeah.
So with a name and a vision, they set up shop, right?
Yep.
But where do they start? Some fancy office building?
Not quite. Picture this. A cramped hotel conference room,
Oh.
mismatched furniture, a small team of just 7 people, and a whole lot of ambition.
Wow.
Those early days were all about scrappy resourcefulness and a relentless drive to make their vision a reality.
Talk about humble beginnings for a company that would eventually become a global giant.
It's a reminder that even the most groundbreaking ideas often start small. You know, they didn't have lavish funding
Yeah.
or a state-of-the-art headquarters. But what they did have was a clear vision, a dedicated team, and the willingness to roll up their sleeves and get things done. And that, in many ways, is the essence of entrepreneurship.
But even with the DVDs and the name and the drive, he still had a pretty big challenge to overcome, didn't they?
They did.
How do you recreate the experience of browsing a video store online?
That was a major hurdle. Think about it, walking through those aisles.
Yeah.
You could see the movie covers, read the blurbs, get a feel for what might interest you.
Right.
Translating that experience to a digital platform in the early days of the internet was no small feat.
And this was 1997, right?
That's right.
E-commerce was still in its infancy.
Uh-huh.
The tools and platforms we take for granted today simply didn't exist.
Precisely. They had to build everything from scratch. And one of their biggest challenges was creating a system that allowed users to easily search and filter through their catalog
Right.
to discover movies they might not even know existed.
They needed to provide more than just a list of titles.
Yes.
They needed detailed information about each movie.
Right.
The genre, the director, the actors, even plot summaries.
You're getting it. That's what we call metadata.
Okay.
The information about the information. And in the world of online movie rentals, metadata was king.
Right.
It was the key to creating a user-friendly browsing experience that could rival or even surpass the physical video store.
So how did they solve this problem? They didn't have a team of movie buffs writing up descriptions for every single DVD, did they?
No, they were clever about it. They partnered with a company called AllMusic, which specialized in music databases.
AllMusic, so they were branching out into movies.
Exactly. It was a strategic partnership that benefited both parties.
Okay.
Netflix provided AllMusic with their entire DVD collection in exchange for comprehensive movie information. AllMusic got to expand their database into the movie realm,
Right.
and Netflix gained access to the crucial metadata they needed to make their website work.
A win-win situation.
Absolutely.
But with a launch date set for March 10th, 1998, I imagine the pressure was on,
Yeah.
getting the website ready, integrating all that movie data, ironing out the kinks. It must have been a race against the clock.
It was. And as is often the case with startups, unforeseen delays popped up.
Okay.
The sheer volume of data they were dealing with, the complexity of building a user-friendly interface, it all took more time than anticipated.
So they had to delay the launch.
They did. It was a tough decision, but a necessary one.
Okay.
They pushed the launch back by a month to April 14th, giving themselves some breathing room to refine the website and make sure everything was working smoothly.
April 14th, 1998. The day Netflix, as we know it, was truly born.
Yeah.
What a moment that must have been.
It was a culmination of months of hard work, late nights, and unwavering belief in their vision. And as the clock struck 9:00 a.m., they flipped the switch and took the website live. Little did they know what was about to happen.
What happened? Did it crash?
It did,
Oh, no.
but not in a bad way. The response was overwhelming.
Okay.
They had anticipated a modest 15 to 20 orders on their first day. They were completely unprepared for what was about to hit them.
So they were victims of their own success.
In a way, yes. The website couldn't handle the influx of traffic and crashed within minutes of going live.
Wow.
They scrambled to buy more servers, working feverishly to get the site back up and running.
Oh, my God.
They were frantically writing email confirmations, their initial projections blown out of the water.
How many orders did they end up getting that first day?
A staggering 137 orders,
Yeah.
nearly 10 times their initial estimate.
Wow.
It was a clear sign that they had tapped into something special, a genuine need in the market.
What a way to start.
Yeah.
That first day must have been exhilarating and terrifying all at the same time.
It was a taste of what was to come, a glimpse of the meteoric rise that would transform Netflix from a small startup operating out of a hotel conference room
Yeah.
into an entertainment juggernaut. But the road to global domination wasn't paved with DVDs alone.
Right.
There's much more to this story, and we'll get into that when we continue our deep dive. Yeah, that first day was a microcosm of Netflix's early journey. You know, a blend of innovation, adaptability, and a little bit of luck. But let's not forget, this was still the era of dial-up internet and clunky websites.
Definitely not the seamless streaming experience we're used to today.
Not even close. And that's why their initial success was so remarkable. They managed to build a loyal customer base, shipping out millions of those little red envelopes, all while navigating the constantly evolving world of technology.
You mentioned luck earlier. What role did luck play in their success?
Well, timing is everything, right? The rise of Netflix coincided perfectly with the decline of the traditional video rental model.
You're talking about Blockbuster, right?
Exactly. Blockbuster, with its late fees and limited selection, was ripe for disruption. Netflix swooped in with a more convenient, customer-friendly alternative. No late fees, a wider selection, and the ability to browse from the comfort of your own home. It was a recipe for success.
But wasn't their subscription model a bit risky at first? What if people only rented one movie a month? Wouldn't they lose money?
That's a great question. And it was a gamble. But Hastings and Randolph understood that their target audience, people who loved movies and were comfortable with technology, were likely to rent multiple movies per month. They were betting on creating a habit, a seamless experience that kept people coming back.
And they were right. By 2003, they were turning a profit, and by 2005, they were shipping 1 million DVDs a day. Imagine the logistics of that operation.
It's mind-boggling. They built a massive distribution network, optimized their shipping processes, and invested heavily in technology to manage their ever-growing inventory. Remember, this was before the days of sophisticated warehouse robotics and AI-powered logistics.
They were pioneers in building a scalable e-commerce business, especially for a physical product.
Absolutely. They had to figure it all out from scratch. And they did it incredibly well. But they didn't stop there. They knew that technology wouldn't stand still, and neither could they.
Which brings us to 2007 and the launch of their streaming service.
Now, this is where things get really interesting. Remember, this was before streaming was commonplace. YouTube was still finding its feet, and the iPhone had just been released.
So they were way ahead of the curve. But it must have been a risky move. They were essentially cannibalizing their own successful DVD by mail business.
It was a bold, even audacious decision. Many people thought they were crazy. But Hastings and Randolph had a vision of the future. A future where people would consume entertainment on demand whenever and wherever they wanted.
And they were willing to disrupt themselves rather than be disrupted by someone else.
Exactly. They understood that the landscape of technology and entertainment was shifting rapidly, and they needed to stay ahead of the game. And in doing so, they changed the way we watch movies and TV shows forever.
But streaming back then was a different beast. Limited internet bandwidth, clunky interfaces, a much smaller catalog of content. What were some of the challenges they faced?
The technical hurdles were immense. Streaming video required significant bandwidth, something that wasn't widely available in the early days of broadband. They had to invest heavily in building out their streaming infrastructure, ensuring smooth playback and minimizing buffering.
And then there was the issue of content, right? Securing streaming rights for movies and TV shows was a whole new ballgame.
Absolutely. The studios were hesitant at first. They were used to the traditional model of licensing content for physical distribution. Streaming was uncharted territory. It took a lot of convincing and negotiating to get them on board.
So Netflix had to become more than just a distributor of content. They had to become a producer, a creator in their own right.
That's right. And that shift to original programming was another game changer. In 2013, they released House of Cards, their first major original series. It was a critical and commercial success, proving that they could compete with the big studios in creating high-quality content.
And from there, the floodgates opened. Orange is the New Black, Stranger Things. The Crown, hit after hit, all produced by Netflix.
They invested heavily in building a talented team of writers, directors, and producers, and they weren't afraid to take risks on unconventional stories and formats.
And that's what sets them apart, isn't it? Their willingness to innovate, to push boundaries, to constantly evolve.
Exactly. They're never content to rest on their laurels. They're always looking for the next big thing, the next way to enhance the viewing experience.
And that brings us to today, where Netflix has over 238 million subscribers worldwide. They've revolutionized the entertainment industry, and they show no signs of slowing down.
Yeah, it really is amazing to see how far they've come.
Right.
But it feels like the streaming landscape is a lot more crowded these days.
Oh, it is. It's true.
Yeah.
The streaming wars are heating up.
Yeah.
New players like Disney plus HBO Max and Apple TV plus all vying for a piece of the pie.
So what's Netflix's strategy for staying ahead in this crowded market? Well, they're continuing to invest heavily in original content, recognizing that exclusive shows and movies are their biggest draw.
Makes sense.
They're also expanding into new genres like gaming and exploring interactive storytelling formats.
Interactive storytelling.
Yeah.
Like those choose-your-own-adventure shows.
Exactly. They're experimenting with ways to give viewers more control over the narrative,
Wow.
blurring the lines between passive viewing and active participation.
That sounds fascinating. It seems like they're always pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah.
But with so much content out there,
Right.
how do they ensure that people actually watch what they produce?
Well, they've become masters of personalization and recommendation algorithms.
Right.
Their platform is designed to learn your viewing habits, suggesting content that aligns with your tastes.
Yeah.
It's how they keep you hooked, ensuring that you're always just one click away from something you'll enjoy.
It's almost they know me better than I know myself sometimes.
I know, right?
But it's clear that they're not just relying on algorithms. They're also creating a sense of community around their content.
You're right. They've fostered a culture of online engagement through social media fan communities and even behind-the-scenes content.
Yeah.
It's about creating a deeper connection with viewers. making them feel like they're part of the Netflix experience.
So from humble beginnings in a hotel conference room to a global entertainment powerhouse,
Yeah.
Netflix's journey has been marked by innovation, adaptability, and a relentless pursuit of customer satisfaction.
Absolutely. It's a story that reminds us that even the most disruptive ideas often start small,
Yeah.
that challenges can be opportunities in disguise, and that a willingness to embrace change is crucial for survival in a rapidly evolving world.
What's fascinating to me is how their story intersects with so many broader trends.
Hmm.
The rise of the internet, the shift from physical to digital media,
Yeah.
the changing nature of how we consume entertainment.
It's a testament to their ability to not only anticipate those trends, but to actively shape them. They didn't just ride the wave of technological advancement, they
Yeah.
created their own waves. And in doing so, they've left an indelible mark on the entertainment industry and beyond.
And who knows what the future holds for Netflix? The streaming wars are far from over,
That's right.
and the landscape of entertainment is constantly evolving. But one thing's for sure,
Yeah.
it's going to be an exciting ride.
Indeed. And as we continue to explore the fascinating world of technology and innovation, we'll undoubtedly encounter many more stories like Netflix's stories of bold ideas, unexpected twists, and the relentless pursuit of progress.
That's the beauty of these deep dives. We get to uncover the hidden stories, the unexpected connections, and the valuable lessons that we can all apply to our own lives.
Yeah.
So next time you're scrolling through Netflix, choosing your next binge-worthy show,
Yeah.
take a moment to appreciate the journey that brought us here. A journey that started with a simple annoyance, a spark of an idea,
Right.
and a belief that there had to be a better way.
And perhaps it'll inspire you to look at the world around you with fresh eyes, to question the status quo, and to consider how you might make your own mark on the world. After all, who knows what seemingly small annoyance might be the catalyst for your next big idea.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the birth of Netflix.
Yeah, it was fun.
And remember, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep. There's a whole world of fascinating stories out there waiting to be discovered. Subscribe to The Deep Dive for more.